par for the fucking course. This is my message to the people at Mackie Corporation. I hope you fucking rot in hell. I fucking hate you. You have wasted so much of my time over this last 2 days. So much of my time. I get a Mackie mixer. It's a USB mixer that won't actually work with Adobe Audition. It won't actually send audio through the USB. I am calling for the full jihad. I am so pissed off. I am so fucking pissed off at these people. And I'll bleep these all out. I am so mad at these people. I am so mad at these people for this. Guys, here's my commercial for Mackie. This is a big piece of shit that sucks, that wasted hours of my life. Hours of my life. That's terrible. It sucks. Mackie, you suck. You suck. This is a tiny little machine from Behringer that works just fine, that does the job. I'll be going to Behringer, or we're going to sell one of the kids and get a freaking Roadcaster. I can't tell you, Alice, how pissed off this mixer made me. How much time it wasted yesterday and today, and somehow it just doesn't work. You make a mixer that works with Adobe Audition. For freak's sake, the world uses Adobe Audition. This is what we use. After looking around hours last night for special drivers and special chat groups, and why doesn't it work? Why doesn't it work? You are dead to me. Dead to me. I can't believe how much time I let these people wait. Why didn't I just use money that we didn't have and just get a Roadcaster? Why not? Jesus Christ. I can't believe how much time of mine these people wasted. I'm so pissed off. We just did a thing.
You look nice and skinny on your camera, though.
Thank you. We just did a thing with Menners, and it fucked me there too. I am so, fuck, God, the units of time this thing took from me. So now I gotta find it. I have to take it, put it back in the box, see this stuff, the little pieces of plastic, put it all back in, and ship it to those mother immediately. I don't even know how to do this. It means I have to go to. I'm gonna have to go wait at the United States Post Office around
You're
Christmas
just gonna make me do it. Let's be real.
Around Christmas time, I'm gonna transact at the United States Post Office. Holy God, you are so dead to me. Never buy anything Mackie, guys. Makie. Never anything. No. Oh, that's perfect. This bottle of water just fell off the table into the bag of equipment I have, and with all the water spilling. Oh, this is great. This is great. I'll be going 45 feet out of this door to the left, Alice.
Yes.
The moment this podcast is done, I'll be going to that bar, and I'll see you later. I am gonzo tonight. Oh, I cannot.
Merry Christmas to you too, honey.
Jesus. I'm in radio here, and I'm trying to, Menners is all his stuff works, of course. His stuff is the real thing. Oh, you bastards. I will never forgive it. Never forgive this company for selling me such a total and utter, and I'm not leaving this one out. Mackie makes total and utter piece of shit equipment. End of story. So what does Zoom look like? How are we doing over there?
Everything's going great other than that. Now that you've gotten off that mixer, everything seems to be going fine. I have your audio, I have my audio, I have video. You look good in your little brown jacket. It's a great day.
This little brown jacket.
Great day. I've joined Tom in the
little brown
Connecticut
jacket.
Hotel.
This little brown jacket costs $11 on clearance sale from Walmart. Its zipper is on the wrong side, so that only a lefty could use it. I've never had a.
You're not ambidextrous for zippers?
But let me tell you one thing. This zipper is a better mixer than that effing thing down there. It is. This zipper is a better mixer than Mackie's mixers. God, I'm so angry.
Morgan says he has a 16-channel Mackie powered mixer and it's been a workhorse for 15 years.
Morgan, the other one that we use back in the studio is a Mackie as well. Morgan, here's the deal. This piece of kryptonite, Morgan, doesn't work with Adobe Audition. It doesn't see. There's 4 channels that come out of it technically. 1 and 2 are microphones. 3 and 4 are auxiliary and another mic. Are USB and another mic. Adobe Audition doesn't see them for some reason. Now, I guess you could technically say that you could blame Adobe Audition, but the world should bend its knee to Audition. That's what I use. That's what we all use. So I am at war with those people. God, it makes me so angry. Frig. That said, I'll tell you, you know what? There's a Whole Foods here. The Whole Foods technically is we're in Avon right now, but the Whole Foods is technically in what's it called? What's it called?
Farmington?
No, no, Joe
Sorry, I don't know.
Simsbury, right
Okay.
down the street. That the Whole Foods is a joy to be in. A joy to be in.
That's nice.
Yeah, I had to
I
bail
enjoyed
out.
my avocado. It was perfect. In
Yeah,
Market Basket, all the avocados are always like 3 days from being ripe. These
yeah,
ones are
yeah.
perfect.
The ones I bought 6 days ago when I left felt like dried concrete. Yeah. Um, but
I
you
ate them today, but
did
yeah.
but yeah. So it's just you know, there's not too much for me to buy at Whole Foods, but it is a lovely place. Especially this is a brand new big one in a big new place. It is really calming. I do
They
like.
have lots of stuff you can eat there. I'll go there for you and buy you stuff tomorrow.
No, there's no. I was there today. I got stuff. I got stuff. I got cucumbers. I got bok choy, whatever the hell that is. I got some other stuff, and it was fine. I was just poking around. I was actually. It's funny. I went to 4 stores today. 3 of them, I dumped my stuff off and just left because of chaos happening in the store. One was a home goods. I do love a home goods too, but I couldn't deal with the chaos at the thing at the checkout counter, so that went by the wayside. But
I'm sorry that happened to you.
this mixer happened to me. It also this is you don't understand this. We're doing our holiday store. So in other words, what we've got is it's incredible. It's almost like a game show. It should be a game show. It's incredible. So what it is we're raising money for the Salvation Army, which is great. They do great work. We've dealt with some great people, agencies here. Great charitable people. But so what it is I've got a show to do 4 hours. And so I get there and I've got to talk about stuff. So for instance, today I just tried to talk about like what we talked about is that there's no more penicillin around for kids or whatever.
Tylenol. Yeah.
And then I have a guest maybe, and then the kind of broadcast kind of belongs to the Salvation Army. So then they as I'm talking, they bring in guests for me. These guests have all been to a person, wonderful people, but I don't know who they are, what they're doing, why they're there, what I'm supposed to say, what their names are. I don't know. I have zero information. That's why it's a game show. Because and sometimes I've got like guests sitting with me, like who I do know, because I can't just plan on not doing a show because I have to talk for 4 hours. So I have to be prepared with something. I need some kind of backgrounder. That's why tomorrow, hopefully, you'll be with me or Dan Moresi. Somebody will be with me. I got to talk to somebody.
I'll be there.
They'll just come. Like last week, I had a guest and a guest scheduled in a topic scheduled, and right as I was about to start, they brought a guy over from who runs funeral homes. So I've got 1 minute. I know his name and that he runs funeral homes. That's it. And that's why it should be a game show. Like, it's fine because it's a radiothon, kind of. Although I was told last year to like kind of do a show as well, but you can't. You can't suddenly say, oh my goodness, they've just barred girls from learning something in Afghanistan. They can't go to school anymore in Afghanistan. And here is the funeral home director, the regional funeral home. There's no way to. I mean, it's good practice. It should be. It's like boot camp for interviewing because you're finding out as you're asking what they are, who they are, what they're doing. Usually, generally, when you do, and they're impromptu. To me, they are. If there's a list somewhere, I'll take it, but I haven't seen one. Like usually, when you do a remote with a bunch of guests, you'll have a one sheet on everybody. So when they come into this is not. This is like just pop it up there. Yeah. And so today, I was talking to VB. As I'm talking to VB, they sit 2 people next to me and said, okay, well, there you go. Just whenever Tom will be right with you. Okay. It's not ideal.
No.
I've got zero information. So the thing is that either If we're going to be wall to wall guests too, I don't know. We can do that. Or if we're going to be 4 hours of Tom's show, we can do it. We can't do both.
It's hard to do both. Yeah.
Right.
I hear you.
So that is so that didn't help. And then the mixer thing. And I never want to be ever again. I would rather Alice be, to be honest with you, and I don't want to I don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
What is the thing I say about silverbacks?
I know what you say about silverbacks.
I would rather be violently
attacked by silverbacks.
assaulted by silverbacks than to ever go down wormholes of chat groups, threads talking about drivers.
How to get your mixer to work.
Right. I tried this, and I tried to reload OS 9 and then and then get rid of this and then disable this and then oh my God. Oh God. Oh, why would I ever stray from you? You've been so good to me. You've been so good to me. I'll never mistreat you again, ever, ever. You know what? I'm going to get rid of that Mackie. I'm going to find a way to put 2 inputs into this. I've got a little powered amp, and I'm sticking with this. My little Behringer USB interface. That's all the world ever needed. All it ever needed. So, by the way, this camera in this iPhone, what's this thing called?
MacBook Air.
It also, the camera shoots out of the side. So I'm way off to the side of this thing to be straight on. Doesn't matter. I need to get drunk or high or whatever.
Well, Trish said your show was good today. Given all that, Morgan asked if you can bring up anything you want on WTIC or if you have to run it by them first.
I never have to run it by them. I've gotten a couple of notes. They don't like me talking about the local NPR station or using those call letters. Yeah, which is kind of too bad, which I don't love because I want to make a running gag out of those people, and I've got some great stuff. One time I had a caller call up, and it was a woman. She kind of worked blue, and I got a message from the PD saying that that's not the kind of radio we do here. Okay. I'm not running the board, that's a caller saying stuff. I don't really. I do. So once in a while, maybe I am running the board. I don't. No, so I would say for a radio station, for an Odyssey radio station, for a radio station in the Northeast in a blue state, management for me at WTIC is a dream. This is management that Kirk and Jerry would have dreamed of having. It is not like Odyssey Boston. No, there's none of that stuff. They have been fantastic. These people, and I think forever it was a CBS station and kind of a CBS mostly news station. But they've been very hands off. Like it's not as if I do. There's the only thing I was told in the beginning was they said that me and Todd had a bad habit, Todd Feinberg, of name calling, and they said that sounds ugly and it's not well thought out. And there's something to that. There's something kind of lazy about calling people idiots, dolts, and whatever, and without really qualifying it. So I think that was kind of constructive criticism. That was probably in the beginning of some of the things we got, and that's probably a good tip. Other than that, no, believe me, what John and Jerry got canceled for? No, I'm sorry, Kirk and Jerry got canceled for. I'm on that all the time. As a matter of fact, I've been having to find. The other day, was it yesterday? No, 2 days ago. I actually started the show with illegal immigration, which is not something I usually love to talk about. It's just because, I get bored about process. Bores me sometimes. Okay, the asylum seekers have to go to this point of entry, and then they can have asylum, but then they're gonna have a court date for this, and they can, It's to me, it gets wonky. But I started with that the other day because what I really had was a bunch of trans teacher stuff, and I had been doing that for 2 weeks straight. So I was like, I got to take a break from this, or at least give it a minute here. So that's a great question, Morgan. Yeah, no, they have not told me to do anything. I mean, every other job I've had I used to work with Michael Graham in Boston, and we would get crap all the time from management, all the time. They would sometimes separate us to interrogate us separately to see what our motives were. It was crazy. And then that was nuts. That was exactly the lesson in bad program directing. And it was nuts. What it actually kind of helped the show because it united Michael Graham and me against management because they were so crazy. They once brought me in front of the famed Buzz Knight because he's a radio programmer, so he knows a lot about radio. It's like anytime you hear about a radio programmer, a program director knows a lot about radio, just walk the other way, man, because there's going to be this consultant class of radio person comes out. And Buzz Knight, we used to have something that was a ripoff, really, of the Howie Carr Chump line or the Weiner line on WEI, which is just, well, it's kind of like this.
The confession hotline.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like the Chat Chat, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, exactly like that.
Right, yeah, it is, right. So one time I played a bunch of messages, 2 minutes worth of messages on there. And the guy, Buzz Knight, who works for BOS, whatever, called me. I was summoned to his office. And he went through and he said, Tom, I want to sit and kind of have a meeting of the minds with you. And he said, let's go through your confession hotline the other day that you and Michael went through. And I want you to go through and let me know what's funny about and we had to go through each one, and I had to explain like it's kind of ironic, or
it's referring back to this inside joke.
Right, exactly. And he was very concerned. And I thought, wow, that's it. And then one time, it's great. They had no clue why the station was losing ratings. So they got the software that showed a graph of the 6 or 10 listeners that are tracked. Back then people used to have like a
people meters,
a PPM, and they would show them when programming was happening, and then if one or two would leave, and they'd show where they went. They paid for that package, which would show you like where the listeners went. They went from us to NPR. They went from us to whatever. No, now the truth is that almost everybody would always leave during the commercials because people don't like commercials, other than charming reads about hot sauces. But one time, me and Graham had me and Michael, we were on the air. I was his producer, and this is a great one. And something happened either with the confession hotline or we had some technical issue, and we were like, okay, now we have 3 minutes. What do we do? And I said, you know what? Why don't we go through every drop we play and explain it? Because there's these drops. You hear radio drops, these little cuts of audio, and like you a lot of times you weren't there for the first time it was played or it happened, so you don't know. So I thought we'll go through the bank here, all of them, and just tell people what they were. Might as well. We're closing out the show. It's just a couple of minutes. So I did it. It's a caller saying Guatemala sounds like watermelon, or I continue to be discriminized. That was another one on Michael Graham. Or Michael Graham saying I'm a something eating NASCAR loving gay man, or all these out of context stuff.
Toy Story is better than Star Wars.
Toy Story is better than Star Wars, which is another one of his, and all sorts of these things making fun of him. And I was summoned to Buzz Knight's office again, and he went through the entire litany. What's the significance of this particular drop at this time? And I said, Buzz, well, the thing was, we had technical problems, and so I figured that we'll just do an inside baseball thing for these people, and just in case they missed all the stuff organically, we tell them what it was. And I had to go through these crazy drops. There'd be a Jeremiah Wright drop, and he'd say, so where is that bringing me exactly? Wow. And that's when my Graham and I started to freshen up our resumes, because that's going to be over very shortly when they're wondering what exactly is funny about when the most humorless people on the earth start asking you what's funny. Start applying for other jobs, because it's over very soon. So that is exactly that.
What exactly is it you would say you do here, Mr. Shattuck?
But it wasn't even. Yeah, I wish it was that good. But you've got these people who are largely humorless.
Julie and Phil want to know about having VB on. We have had VB on, I think, both here and on WTIC. You've had VB on WTIC, right?
Yeah, I got to send him a message because my two guests stepped on him. I asked him to stay over after a break to help me out, really. And he said yes, and then I got rid of him because I had two guests suddenly.
Yeah, and Julie and Phil used to watch 25
Yeah.
before they got away from being Fox 25 so much, and the watching that and liked VB on there. Yeah, he's great. Tom knew him then too, because we would watch that in the mornings when we were first together, and you would be that picture that's behind me in our studio is
Yeah.
you on Fox 25, also with VB.
Yeah, that's VB. He called me out a couple of times to be in the background of a live shot, and
To
his
be a fake,
to be fake. So there I'm
fake
pretending I'm listening
background
to Hangover.
person.
VB told me how to act, and and his producer then was named, I think, Irish Joe or Scottish Joe. No, his
Hmm.
cameraman there would start on me and then pan up, or they'd put me in the thing, and I was obviously thrilled to do it. But
Right, and
that crew from Boston from Fox 25.
that's what Trish says too. It was awesome for the first few years. They felt like friends or buddies. It was so different from the other channels.
Totally, and that crew is really cohesive, and
Hmm.
they all still get along. They were awesome. Levanchi and Doug Meehan, who's a great guy, maybe the best guy in the business. And Butch Stearns and VB and Maria, my cousin Alice. What's her name? Maria.
I don't remember.
Yes, you do. Maria Stefanos,
Hmm.
who's by the way related to me. Alice,
Kind of,
want to tell the people
loosely.
how she's related.
I don't remember how she's related. She's like your mom's. Is she like married into your mom's cousin's family or
She's
something?
my mother's cousin's stepdaughter. So
There
my
we go.
mother's cousin um is Virginia, as a matter of fact,
Hmm.
and it's named after my grandmother. She's married to
Hmm.
Satch Sanders of the Celtics,
Hmm. And
and
there's like a pool named after her in Somerville or
Somerville,
somewhere.
exactly. And her son is Dale Stefanos, who's an artist. His wife is Maria Stefanos. I used to always tell Maria this, and she would be highly disinterested. Although she was sweet, Maria Stefanos, everybody loves her because she helps people out. She did me a solid twice. One time, I was producing the Howie Carr show. I wasn't. I was on site to help the Howie Carr show as the executive producer when they were doing a live shot at Boston 25 for the debate watch thing.
Hmm.
And Chris, not Chris Matthews, Chris, who's one who was on Fox News Sunday.
Um,
Chris, Fox News Sunday with Chris. His dad was in 60 Minutes.
I know who you mean, but I'm blanking.
Hold on. Anybody remember, guys?
Morgan's related to Stephen Colbert, so
Oh, really? Oh, I'm sorry about that.
lucky Morgan, I guess.
Okay, it's Chris Wallace.
Chris Wallace. There you
So
go.
anyway, um, I went up to Chris Wallace and said he and Howie had a falling out there, but Howie wanted him on the air.
Hmm.
But he and Howie had a falling out, and Howie said, "Tom, see if you can get up there and get him." So I walked into the Fox newsroom, which is a really Star Wars looking place, and I saw Chris standing there. And I said, "Hey, Chris, do you mind popping on with us in the Howie Carr show?" And he said, "Well, I don't. You know what? I don't know if I'm going to have time. And I'm sorry, I don't think I'm going to have time." And he was obviously blowing it off. He had a falling out, so he didn't want to do it.
Hmm.
And listen, this is how great Maria Stefanos is and was. She's now with Channel 5 in Boston, WCVB. She then grabbed him. She was right there while I was talking to him. And I'd known her from the Michael Graham show. She
Hmm.
grabbed him by the arm and pulled him down the hall to where Howie was set up, his radio was set up. But right before she walked through the door, she pulled me, put me next to him, and pushed me in with Chris. So
So that you got credit.
I got credit from Howie for bringing him in. She is an angel, Maria Stefanos. She also during in Cleveland at the Republican convention in 2016, she did the same exact thing with Dan Rather and made him talk to me for a little bit after she was done because a bunch of people wanted to talk to him, and she brought him over to. She is Maria Stefanos is an absolute angel, absolute angel. Yeah, that whole team was good there. Oh, there's also Ockerbloom, Mark Ockerbloom, also a Winchester guy. Yeah, that was a great special
But
state.
yeah, I missed that. I missed TKK. I missed the Real Herald. Like
Yeah, I know. I go to these
so
places
much.
right as they're bursting into flames.
It's too bad. It's too bad. It's sad. But I mean, I do think like other things are happening. Like, I think Substack's an exciting place where lots of stuff is happening. I mean, like, I think there's a lot out there, and I think the media environment will adjust, but it is sad to see this stuff go away over time, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's also exciting. I mean, there's never been so much as a talk radio guy. I know you guys are too. Like a fan of talk radio. There's never been so much like great content out there. Or there's just
Oh, yeah.
never been.
And like with the Twitter, just things happening in real time. It's so exciting. Like you get to know so much stuff right away. You're not like just watching the same news shows as everybody else is and reading the same newspapers, right? Like there's so much more out there from so many more people. It's like really wild.
Can I ask you a question, Alice?
Yes.
And this is inspired by my friend Lucy Burge.
Hmm.
You know who Lucy is?
Is that the like sports betting person?
She's my fellow Odyssey team member. Yes,
Okay,
she's a
yes.
sports betting person from Boston. She tweeted out, "Eggnog is a top tier beverage. Thoughts?"
I mean, yeah, I would say so. I think it's pretty delicious, no? But I don't know that I would call it a beverage though. That's the only caveat.
It's
Like
a lot of work, man, for a beverage. It's a
I
lot of
like
work.
it though, but it's not, I know what you mean. It's not like very drinkable.
No, it's not
That
drinkable,
can't be the only thing you have to drink for the evening, you know?
especially like with rum. It's like, man, what kind of hangover is that? Oh,
Yeah. So, but you know, I hope everybody has a Merry Christmas. I know we have one more show tomorrow too, but it kind of seems like the
yeah.
world
Tomorrow's
is
show
falling
will
apart.
not feature a temper tantrum from me. I'm sorry. I'm not going to get into it.
Hmm. I know.
Everything's fine. What else you got?
So,
We got to get you to the
but
restaurant. You know, the restaurant.
yeah, no, I know, but I just wanted to cover a couple things because I feel
Oh,
like the world is going to hell in a handbasket. Like one is you mentioned, and I wanted to bring up, and I keep like seeing it out there and then forgetting to bring it up on our show. But there's not like news stories about it, but nobody can buy Tylenol and Motrin for their kids right now, right? Like we're in the middle of the so-called triple demic, right? Which like our kids are a little older, they can just get a fever and it's not a big deal. But if you have like a newborn baby and you can't buy any liquid Tylenol, that's like scary stuff. And it's like store shelves are empty. It's the baby formula all over again, and like nobody is covering it. So did you do this on the radio today? Did people call in about it?
I started to, but then they brought an undertaker and a nuclear scientist. So
So, but it's really crazy. Like all my mom Facebook groups, they're all like people like buying and selling Tylenol on the black market. Like, can anyone drop off some Tylenol to me? Does anyone have any extra, et cetera, et cetera? Because like nobody can find it in the stores. It's really crazy. So like Tylenol, Motrin, like all the like liquid kids pain and fever medications, which is really nuts. Like, and I want to know what's going on there. I don't really understand why this is happening right now. Like, it's not purely demand. Something's going on. I'm sure we'll hear more about it in the future, but like some supply chain somewhere is screwed up and they're not
what do you
talking
think it
about
is?
it or
What's the
reporting on
something
it.
that's going on?
I don't know. I couldn't even speculate. I just think there's some supply chain problem that they're not reporting on. Because like, with the baby formula, it was because they shut down this plant over nothing, like, and that stuff. Do you remember with the baby formula?
Of course I do. Yeah, where
Yeah.
was that in
So
like
like,
in Gary,
but they
Indiana or
had
something?
like a scare that some kids supposedly got infected from the baby formula, which no one was ever able to prove. They were never able to find like a molecule of that bacteria in the whole plant. Like, and but they shut the plant down for a long period of time and they totally screwed up the market. I don't know what's going on here, but something's happening. Morgan says it's stuff you got to have when they're really little. It's so true. Like, and you remember what that was like, especially when you had a new baby and you didn't know what you're doing, and it's like scary. I mean, right now our kids could get RSV and stuff, and like, but I do think the respiratory stuff with the kids, I do think they screwed up kids a lot with like keeping them home and masking them for all this time. That their
Totally.
like immune systems need to be around other kids. I happen to know somebody who like their kid was in the hospital for a week with RSV, for a week with pneumonia from the RSV. Like, that's nuts.
No, yeah, it totally is. And to be and not to make it about me, and I know it's different, but me and this guy on Facebook who both have swollen facial features every day. It's like, I wonder if the oh, that reminds me. Here's your oh, damn it. I don't have a phone. Where's my phone? Do you know where my phone is?
I didn't take your phone. It was on the bed the last time I saw it in there.
Oh. It's on the bed now. I'm wondering if it's the the shot. If it's the COVID shot that's like it's done something to us. So did you see my tweet with Benjamin Byron Davis?
No. But somebody in the chat raises an interesting point about the Tylenol thing before we move off that. Trish says the children's liquid meds are made in China. People in China are waiting hours in line to get meds. I do think that could be part of it. Remember when they were like sending themselves masks from the US? Like 95% of all the ibuprofen in the world is like made in China. Like the actual ingredient that goes into the ibuprofen, like in the pills or in the liquid or whatever, right? So, you know, they're making it there, like maybe they're using a lot of it there and they're short shipping. Like I have no clue. I have no clue why. This is like pure speculation. But something is going on with like the children's the liquid cough and fever meds, and it's not cough but fever and pain. So it's really concerning. But yeah, just like one of the more ways that um
So
we're
let me.
we're like screwing around with stuff that shouldn't get broken, that's messing with people's lives. Okay, go ahead about your tweet.
So
Morgan says he saw it.
Okay, so Benjamin Byron Davis. He's an actor. He's Josh Davis, who's a good guy, very progressive, but he's an actor. He was in Borderlands movie, Ant-Man and the Wasp, RDR2. He's been in. He might have even been in. He looks like he's been in stuff like Game of Thrones. I don't know. He's a real success Hollywood guy. Anyway, so since I know his brother, he follows me, or we follow each other, or whatever. And every once in a while we tussle. But anyway, listen to this. Listen to the psychosis behind this.
Okay.
He tweeted out the other day, yesterday, get your booster. To which I tweeted out, like, this is a guy who's surrounded by a lot of smart people. His brother's a brilliant guy who won some debate thing years ago, and he's a smart guy. So he said, get your booster, not just to me, to the world. I tweeted at him, I replied, why? He said, to help protect vulnerable communities from spread of communicable disease. Much like every other vaccine we have successfully employed for generations to care for each other and promote our general welfare. So my reply to him was, boosted people are still contagious, just as contagious as anyone else. So now his reply, this is an intelligent guy.
Right.
His reply is, accepting your premise, get your booster. Why? To amplify your own protection from the virus, shielding you from serious illness and keeping you out of the hospital, all of which helps minimize the impact of the virus has on your community and promotes social welfare. Just promotes our general welfare. So what happened to help protect vulnerable communities from the spread of the communicable disease? Much like every other vaccine we have successfully employed for generations to care for each other and promote our general welfare. Then he switches to, after that's like knocked over by a feather, he switches to, why? To amplify your own protection from the virus. Wait a second. First I was saying...
And to contribute to the social welfare by staying out of the hospital.
Saving the community. At one point, now he's worried about me.
Yeah, it's a little more subtle now. That your impact on the community is a little more nuanced, I would say, in part two.
Do we know that the boosters are amplifying our own protection from the virus? Do we know that they're amplifying anything?
No, you also had Omicron already because you got Omicron. You got COVID right after your last booster.
I think
might add,
that amplified.
like at the time when 90-some-odd% of the cases in the country were all Omicron. So
all of which helps minimize the impact of the virus has on your community and promotes our general welfare. Isn't that great? How Committee of Public Safety is that? We're promoting the general welfare. We need to inspect the house. Promotes the general welfare. So it's just so interesting how he made a statement of principle. When called out on it, he showed his cards. We're promoting general welfare. So it's really not about anything scientific. He's saying, get your booster because get your booster. We're getting boosters. Do you understand?
It's just a good thing, okay? Just
We're
do it.
wearing the age ribbon. What, you don't want to wear the ribbon? No, we're wearing the ribbon. Just do it.
Wear a Livestrong bracelet, Tom.
It's incredible. It's incredible. Okay.
Meanwhile, the last thing that they told us to do, which is all buy electric cars, is going really well. General Motors had to recall, did you see this? 140,000 Chevy Bolts because the carpet could catch fire.
So let me tell you something that I'm finding, and I think these electric cars are exciting and interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're looking for a car that's going to burst into flames, and
it seems to be electric vehicles.
What's that called when the other towns get involved and help?
What do you mean?
It's like shared community response or whatever. When other towns get involved, like
yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. If you want to, compare fire trucks from several towns, get an electric car, because when that bursts into flames, they need extras because these things do not stop bursting into flames.
Well, yeah, but that's just, I mean, like everything liberals touch bursts into flames, basically, whether literally or metaphorically. They can't help themselves. Like the Biden presidency is like this, and like every city they run is like this. Did you see the DC story also?
I don't know.
DC.
Did Zelensky speak to a joint session?
No, I didn't. I don't care about him.
Put
to
on
be
a
honest
suit.
with you,
Put on a suit, little guy. Okay.
He wears a green shirt. That means he's fighting for his people, I think.
So did Castro. Come on.
Okay. So, but DC, because their city is a total bleep hole because they run it into the ground. Even though it's like one of the greatest places. I love DC.
They don't have
like,
representation, man.
Well, they apparently tourism has taken a hit during the pandemic. And they're concerned about this, so they have a new plan to help tourism. Can you guess what it is? Only a liberal could think of it. Only a liberal could think of it.
Did I see this? Is this safe injection sites?
No.
Okay.
No, they are raising hotel taxes.
Oh, that's smart. That is definitely smart. I know I sort from highest to lowest when I'm on Experian.
They're raising the hotel taxes 1% because that will give them a bigger advertising budget to advertise to people to tell them to come to DC.
That is what a 17 Caram bank shot that is.
Can you believe like how their minds work to do something like that? You know what will help tourism if we make the hotels more expensive? People have been saying they were really wishing the hotels would cost more right now.
Also ban Uber because people like cabs. Some that don't take credit cards. That's what people think.
That will fix it, I'm sure. And the ones that do take credit cards give you a hard time about having a credit card. Do you remember that with cabs? How that would be like?
I don't remember that.
If you ever tried to pay with a credit card, even if they took a credit card, it was like you killed their family or something.
Yeah. So what would happen is that the cabs, people wanted to pay the credit cards, including their work Amex, because they wanted to expense everything. So the cabs didn't want to ever take credit cards. They wanted cash, obviously, for obvious reasons. And so what they used to do is give the doorman a big roll of blank cab receipts. So, or the bellman and doorman would take care of the guest. Would say, okay, we'll write your receipt for whatever. And it was a good scam. So in other words, you could take a cab that costs $13. The bellman, who was working with the cab drivers who wanted to take credit, who wanted to take cash, the bellman would then write a receipt for $50 or whatever like that. Good scam. Okay, should we go to the Chelsea Fire Wicked Hot Sauce? Oh, see? Wicked Hot Sauce hotline.
Let's do it.
This is Muy Caliente, by the way, Alice. It says it in the front. Shake well. Product settling is normal. That's true. Do shake well. 5% goes to the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation. You'll notice that mine is already half empty. I used it at 3 different points today. First in the morning when I cheated on my Weekend 180 weight loss regimen because the breakfast buffet is open. I've got a bowl. I put eggs in the bowl. I put sausage in the bowl. And then I took the silencer off of Chelsea Fire hot sauce.
Mm-hmm.
The plastic piece at the end. Took the silencer right off, and I was firing automatic. And I poured that baby right in there. And
I was thinking about using some on my breakfast taco bowl that I made myself this morning, but I was scared that it would be too hot for me.
it's pretty hot, Alice. It might be a little too hot for you, but I mean, you can use it with creamy stuff first. Do you like clam chowder? Are you a clam chowder person?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't go out of my way, really. It's not like.
I know you don't. Okay. All right.
I just ate an avocado whole in the hotel room.
I know. Like she ate it like an apple. I've never seen it before. It was like watching Splash
I was starving.
With Daryl Hannah eating the lobster. All right. I hope you're ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Then we should go to the bar, you and I, and have a couple of cold ones. What do you think?
Okay.
So this is yesterday. This is probably old.
Hey, Tom and Alice.
Yes.
I was wondering if either of you would consider having a CBD sponsor. I've tried it before, the stuff before, the gummies, and it relaxes me and makes me fall asleep great. So I love the stuff. So
yes is the answer to that. I am all on board with CBD or weed or fentanyl or whatever. Maybe not fentanyl. I'm just kidding. But yes.
But CBD isn't the same as weed, I don't think.
No, it's a cannabinoid biobetter.
They sell that in normal hippie stores.
Alice, don't show how uncool we are. Yes, we would happily do it. I actually have some CBD drops at my house. I have used them. And I think Mike Geary.
I think you hated them, didn't you?
Alice. This is a shape of whore, form of prostitute is what we're doing. This is the Wonder Twins, you and I right now. We're leaning into the car of the CDC people.
Whatever. You can't even say it, and you want them to be a sponsor.
Yes, we're sponsoring them. I take it all the time. It makes me feel great. Hold on. My computer's thinking about playing an extra or not. At least the mixer works.
Did you do what Tommy in New Hampshire told you to do with the computer?
Alice, I've been busy. I spoke to a ventriloquist today, sight unseen, and then a member of ISIS, sight unseen. It's everything. They're just coming up. I didn't have time to do computer repair work. I'm sorry, guys. It's just thinking about playing this next one. It doesn't know if it's going to. So.
Would it be helpful if I played some? Oh, I can't play it to you, can I?
Okay, let me try this other one. Nope.
I can play it to me and my listeners.
Okay. Not playing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to refresh the page.
Let's do it.
Let's see what happens. Nobody knows. Here we go.
So let me get this right. Tom actually thinks that was an Al Bundy impersonation.
Yes, it was.
When did Al Bundy have a hair lip? Man, these impressions, keep them up. I'm going to send Lionel a chest binder, and next time he sees you, he's going to slap it on those double C's.
How dare you, good sir, Lionel. Al Bundy spoke like that. Newbie. Yeah, sorry. Lip.
I'm not even sure if that's okay or offensive or what that weird. Is that you're doing.
It's funny, Alice, because in this room last night, I get channel the network channels, and I watched a whole bunch of Modern Families last night. Newbie. Come on. That is a absolute spot on.
I'm sure it's spot on, honey. I've never seen this show, but I bet it is.
By the way, Modern Family is a great show. Great show. It's a lot
Modern Family or whatever you're talking about.
Modern Family. Well, okay. I mean, Alice, Married with Children is an American masterpiece. Al Bundy is an American hero. Okay. Come on. That's how he talked. We'll watch it. We'll get into it. It's great. Oh yeah. And what's the name? Applegate. Ooh. All right. Okay. And I loved Bud too.
Hey Alice, how's it going?
This is
Great.
Jack Nicholson.
Oh, wow, Al.
Hi, Jack. Wow.
Called to ask if you wanted to go to a Laker game. I've got courtside tickets and
Sure.
see where it goes. I know
I
you
don't know that much about
bad boy.
basketball, but I mean, sure.
I don't think he's expecting you to be there for the basketball, Alice. So if Jack Nicholson invited you to a Lakers game, would you go with him?
I mean,
You would absolutely. That means you'd absolutely sleep with him.
I would sleep. That wasn't. Well, am I married or not?
What?
In this
well,
hypothetical.
in case you didn't know, you are married, Alice, in this real world where the question happened. Hypothetically, maybe I would. Wow. You know what? I endorse it. Why the hell not? Why the hell not? Jesus, at this point.
Hey, Tom and Alice. Oh, wait, I got an ad read before I can ask my question. Hold on.
Okay.
Hey, fellas. Maybe you don't have ED, but you want a little ace up the sleeve. Why not try Blue Chew? That's BLUECHEW.com. Blue Chew. If you're of a certain age and you want to show your lady that you can still go at it like you're in your 20s, BlueChew.com is for you. It's a chewable, just like it's got the ingredients of Cialis or Viagra, but an easy chewable form. So try it now, BlueChew.com. Anyway, is there any proper way to tell a woman that you have crabs? I don't think so. There's no elegant way. You can't just go up to a lady and go, "Yes, madam, I have crabs." Oh,
Probably not, but Tom's an expert in having to give that news.
Andy, true. So here's my thing about that. One, I had a time in my 20s when I did, my 20s, I did actually have legit VD before Viagra or before that happened, which was horrific, which actually caused me to then later on when I became more single, get it wasn't Viagra, it was like Cialis or something like that. Well, not Cialis, it was Levitra, I think. And then it's just a long story, but because I got it because I was worried that if I went out drinking, which of course I was going out doing because it's the only way I would speak to women is if I was drinking, that the first thing to be inoperable was, you know what? And you guys know this. So then I started using it and taking it, and then it worked like wonders. And then let me just tell you, it's just, this is an entire episode to itself. But yeah. And then my friends it's funny because I told them that I was taking this stuff. They all, as a group, would like say, "Oh man, that's terrible," like limp, whatever, like ha ha ha. And then personally, then one by one would ask if I could get them some. They would say, "Yeah, I don't got that problem." And when they're public, it's like, okay, so I see. Only I do. Right. And then they would buy them off me. So then I was selling them these tablets and going to, you must know this.
How many illegal activities are you going to add to your admissions?
So then I'm selling tablets. I'm doctor shopping in around the year 2000 because I have to, because now I have customers.
You're going through them too fast.
Yeah, I'm using them.
Did they not believe you were
I have
being
customers
intimate that many times in a month?
No, they're like, wow, this is the most impotent person that is on earth because he needs so many of these things. I'm like, nobody would believe me that I'm distributing. And it was crazy because also all those guys got to have them for free and not have like anybody ever know that they ever had issues, especially when having a couple of beers. They all had beer, but that's a long story. It goes. Now, what was the second thing? Oh yeah, about the you know about my story. That's a different thing. That was molluscum contagiosum, and that is not crabs. I have not had crabs. I have a friend who had. It's so incredible. Some of my friends growing up in Winchester were so quick in their feet that I have a friend who got busted filming his girlfriend's friend showering, and somehow out of his rear end came up with an excuse, and he put it on his girlfriend for having, actually it might have been his wife, for having a problem with it. He suggested that he thought it was her who was in the shower, and that I'm sorry if I love you too much and put you on a pedestal too much because you're so good looking. And though it was an uphill battle, and though he took a lot of incoming for it, in the end it worked. Unbelievable. This same guy in high school went. I shouldn't say this.
Do you want to know this person?
You know this person. The same guy in high school went away. He had a steady girlfriend. Of course, all his girlfriends would always lean on me to be their like source and their rock. And like I knew both sides, and I'm like, it destroyed my faith in women. His girlfriend went he went on a camping trip. This means getting a hotel like in Brockton to meet a couple of floozies that they were seeing to cheat on his girlfriend. He and his friend. He then got crabs. He then gave her crabs. She said, "Oh my God, you cheating MF, you gave me crabs." He, without letting a second go by, said, "I can't believe you accusing me of doing that. It just so happens I had to borrow Billy's underwear because I didn't have any. And he apparently had been sleeping around, so he has crabs. That's how I have them." And then, of course, once again, he put the blame right on her, and she took it. Wow. I mean, that is some... And it's funny because he was a guy...
My takeaway from this is never believe guys ever.
No, of course not. The answer is always yes, they had an affair or trying to have an affair or were trying to hook up or yes, they were. Yeah. That's always the answer. That's always the answer. It's always the answer.
Mm-hmm.
But it is remarkable. Like but women want to, it's funny. Women want to believe things. So she was like, okay, sorry about that. So she had apologized to him, even though he had given her. If you're any one of these people involved, I apologize, but you're still anonymous as far as anybody knows. All right, here we go.
Hey, Tom and Alice.
Hey.
Hi.
I just wanted to call and say that in the spirit of the holiday, I'm not going to mention Tom's impression of Al Bundy. I just wanted to wish you two, the children, and of course Pepper the dog, a very Merry Christmas.
Charlie, thank you. You too.
You too. Merry Christmas.
As Al Bundy would say, this is my house. I pay for it. I rot within its walls. Come on. And I mean, even remembering some of the exact quotes. All right. Since the Mackie mixer is not in, I can possibly find the close. Possibly not.
Thank you so much for listening, everybody. We have one more show tomorrow, and then we'll see you again for Christmas on Sunday. If you want to be in the live chats or if you want the extra content on Sunday, that's at patreon.com/burnbarrel. You can also always find us for free at burnbarrelpodcast.com and anywhere you like to listen to podcasts.
Oh,
YouTube,
by the way,
Rumble.
tomorrow I'm in talks to have Alice in a special wardrobe.
We'll see. I don't think about that. I don't think so.